I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me, why should it be true that I get a kick out of you? Some get a kick from cocaine. I'm sure that if I took just one more sniff, that would bore me terrifically too. Yet I get a kick out of you.
Football. This could get a bit lengthy. I've had a lot of football exploits. I have been a top goal scorer for one club with 31 goals in one season. This has been my highest at over 30 games, which is not a bad average. I picked up Player of the Year award as well. I've won various Man of the Match awards. During my time playing, I was playing so well I got a trial for Pollock Juniors. Unfortunately, on the night of the trial, I played awful. I couldn't kick or head the ball to save myself. I don't know what went wrong. I was just so very bad in the night. So basically, I just continued to play with my ordinary teams. But I was happy doing this, and that's all that matters. So now to the various stories. I didn't attend a lot of school. We moved around an awful lot. But when I did attend school, I managed to get into the school football team. I was not very good with skill, head and ability, but I had such speed. I was like a whippet. I was so thin and skinny, wiry, but I had a lot of speed and could take players on. I won many matches for the school, scored many goals for them as well. Unfortunately, as the school progressed, I couldn't because we'd moved on again. So therefore that school team got left behind. During my time with the Castle Cairn team, we were pretty successful. But one or two matches mainly stood out. The Scottish League Cup semi-final, we were drawn against Possil from Possil Park in Glasgow. Branson Court had just won the league the week before, pipped us by 2 points. Back in those days it was only 2 points for a win, and basically the game they bet us on was on our home ground at King George V Park in Boyston Road, and that hurt us. I remember that day when they beat us, we just did not turn up. Our big players, including myself, just did not perform. Therefore, the league title eluded us this season. So to the game. It was the semi-finals of the Cup. We were playing them in their own Red Ash Park in Possil Park. We were hit by injuries and suspensions, so we had a very weak team. A team full of heart though, but nevertheless short in quality. But with the main men, Roland Just, Derek Morton, Alan Logan, Jimmy Mullaney, Dave McNaught, Charlie McGlinchey, we battled away. In the first half, Branson took the lead against the run of play, but just before half-time, we had an equaliser through Stephen Blackwell. In that first half, I was singled out for some rough treatment. I was top goal scorer, and I was annoying them all day. Anyway, just before half-time, we scored. I went up for a high ball in the area. Their two centre-halves jumped up with me, one kneeing me in the back, the other elbowing me in the ribs, knocking me to the ground where I landed badly. I had to come off, or had to be carried off. The pain in my side and chest was unbearable. I could hardly breathe, and when I walked, it hurt like hell. We played with 10 men for 7 minutes till the half-time whistle, hanging on to a 1-1. At half-time I was bandaged up, and the physio told the manager I could not continue. I though begged the manager to allow me to play on, not to put on a sub as we had only one sub. To my relief he agreed. The second half kicked off and I was still being roughed up for what I don't know why, but for what I lacked in physical strength I made up for in speed. I was nicknamed the Road Runner, so I decided to chase down every ball, and one ball came through. I ran onto it, beat a defender, and as the other defender came towards me I decided to shoot, Bang, right by the keeper, low into the bottom corner of the net. 2-1 to us. As the game wore on, they had a few chances and we were getting penned in by them. With 10 minutes to go, another long ball blasted out of our defence up the halfway line. I controlled it, laid it off to Blackie, our left winger. He beat the right back and he powered a great ball into the heart of their defence. And even though I had no energy, I was also not a great header of the ball. I managed to out-jump their two centre-halves and head the ball high into the top right corner of the net. 3-1. We were in the final. I was in a heap. My fellow teammates did not help by jumping on me because my body was already beat up. Thornley Bank boys, though, came through when needed. True grit and determination saw us through. I was proud of my fellow teammates, every one of them. They were all heroes, hard-working, all for one and one for all. That was the type of mates I had. I ended up that night in Victoria Hospital where they diagnosed me of having 2 cracked ribs. They couldn't do anything for me except give me painkillers and put a tight bandage on me, which nowadays is known not to work, as bandages do not help. But it was worth it though. This was a thriller that lives long in my memory. This was the League Cup final. The scene was set for a thriller. Branson, who had just secured the championship 2 weeks earlier against us, the runners-up. The match was held at Ricasey Stadium. It was the first time most of our players had played in a stadium and not just an open park. It was a thrill to see the main stand so full of our supporters, mainly all from Thornley Bank, and of course my dad too, which made me very proud for him watching. Bad luck struck in the first 5 minutes when our central defender, Willie Craig, had to go off injured. This was a huge blow, as Willie was playing so well in the weeks leading up to this game. He was a hard, no-nonsense defender, but we had a good replacement in Jamie Mullaney. From within minutes, Branson took the lead. What a start for them. Couldn't believe it, they were 1-0 up. Our heads never went down though, as before half-time, Mullaney took a long throw-in and I managed to get my head on it to make it 1-1. The second half had just started. Disaster again. Branson scored once more to make it 2-1 to them. Still, we never gave up. We constantly fought for every ball. And midway through the half, from almost an identical throw-in again, taken by Jamie, obviously Branson not learning the lesson, I prized the ball home with a shot from a tight angle into the left bottom corner of the Branson net. It was 2-2. We played this out, no further goals. Extra time was played, still no further goals. It was down to penalty kicks. I took a second one and scored high into the top corner. I just decided to hit it with everything I had and it went in. No skill involved, just smashing it. That then was an unlikely hat-trick for me in a cup final. So with Alan Logan, our keeper, dramatically saving Branson's 5th penalty, it was down to Jamie Mullaney to win the cup for us. He was having the game of his life. He was a worthy man of the match, although there was to be a miscarriage of justice when a Branson player was given the award, and I think it was out of sympathy. Anyway, Jamie decided to take the last kick. With a strong wind blowing, the ball came off the spot. Jamie calmly replaced the ball and stepped up. He looked into the sky for inspiration and struck the ball with everything he had. Goal! We all bundled Jamie to the ground. The cup was won by the underdogs, by the men from Thornley Bank, by the boys of the black stuff. We had done it. We had won our first major cup. As I was playing so well in the Evangelicus League, I was chosen to play for Scotland Select against an England Select. They had come up from England and were going round all the various churches, and they chose our church to play against them because we had a good team. I did not know any other members of the Scottish Select, and basically I thought they were all downright snobs, and I was the wee scruff from Thornley Bank. Anyway, I think it was pressure from Greenview Church that made them put me in the squad. I was named as a sub. Surprise, surprise, I wasn't getting started because they had their favourites. Anyway, the game started and it was all so friendly, with hardly a tackle going in, also hardly a shot at goals in the first half. They were also very nice to each other, like you're alright chaps and all that private schoolboy crap. So to the second half, our right back gets injured and they put me on. Strange, I was a winger or a centre forward and I was top goal scorer in the whole league, the Evangelical League, and I was the top goal scorer and they put me on at right back. Anyway, I was doing my best, but I felt the others were not including me, not passing the ball to me, so I thought no way was this going to continue. I tackled this English twat who was dithering with the ball. I bet one man ran way over the halfway line and I struck the ball with all my might. I thought I had caught the keeper off guard, but to my amazement, the ball clipped off the crossbar and went over. Well, after that, I kept making run after run and putting in some very good crosses, only for my teammates to miss or their keeper to pull off some saves. The boys now in the team, and my team, were starting to ask me for the ball now and were wanting to give me the ball more and more. The thing is, I had so much energy. I was built like a whippet. I could run like a greyhound and I was full of confidence, so much so the English subs management team and fans were even clapping me for my performance. I got the impression that the Scottish manager was not too pleased with me, as some of my sliding tackles were a bit meaty, but I never get booked. I never took the man. I won the tackle, fair and square. The game ended 0-0, and not one Scottish player bothered to shake my hand at the end, but the English did. I wasn't asked to play for my country again, but I had the satisfaction of knowing I gave my all, and I didn't need the appreciation of the clique, the clan, the people who stuck together. I couldn't even tell you of any of my Scottish boys' fellow names. I bet they didn't even know mine. But do you know what I knew? I was better than any of them. I was faster and I had more guts. I had more determination and I wasn't afraid to get dirty. I was a football player. Well, they couldn't have been more fit to play chess or drafts. Anyway, I done it for me and I done it for my church. Another game to stand out in my memory was the Scottish Cup final. We'd managed to get to the Scottish Cup final. Now, we couldn't get a ground anywhere, so a coin was tossed and we won the toss, and the cup final was played down King George V playing fields in Dorneybank. Now, we played against Shettleston, a really tough team who were flying high in the league. And anyway, to the game, we battled it all out in the first half, back and forth. They were good, we were good, they were good. I was getting a lot of bad treatment. I was a winger, and as I said, I was built for speed, but I kept getting bundled to the ground, side to the ground, really, really bad tackling, and for some reason, the ref never showed many yellow cards, or even a red card. Anyway, it was 0-0 at half time. Second half came upon us again. We attacked because we were at home with a good crowd following us. Again, my dad was watching from the sidelines, so was my friends and so was family. But anyway, we continued to attack. A brilliant ball came across from a corner kick. Stephen Fry, who was absolutely immense, bundled it home. 1-0 to us. An amazing game. We had won the cup. 1-0. I was given man of the match as well. I had a lot of bruises to prove I deserved man of the match, but we had won the Scottish Cup and we were all very, very proud.